Welcome once again. So we have completed our first module and today we will start our second module. So today is our module 2. Module 2, this is our first class. So today our module 2 is about slope deflection method. Our first module was about Clapeyron's theorem, about theorem of three moments. In the first module, we saw how to analyze a continuous beam using theorem of three moments. In the second module, this slope deflection method is also used to analyze the continuous beams as well as frames. So this slope deflection method is used for analyzing the continuous beams, and it is also used for analyzing the frames. So frames with sway and without sway. With sway and with no sway. Now you are very much aware about continuous beams. But what is frame? See, you know already in your last semester, that is in structural analysis 1, you have studied the frames. Frames, and you know how to analyze a determinate frame using determinate and indeterminate frames using method of consistent deformation. You have studied it already. Now, see, if this is called a frame, right? So, this is called a frame, and if there is some nodal loads or any other horizontal loads, or due to some eccentricity of loads, there will be a sway. That means this frame will be subjected to some deformation. This will be subjected to deformation, and that is called sway. So this comes here. So that is called the sway. So we are going to analyze continuous beams and frames with sway and with no sway. Now, see, in the module 1, you have studied how to analyze the continuous beams using theorem of three moments. So that was a force method. Why that was force method? Because our unknown redundants were the moments. Moments were the unknowns there. Here, the deformation, the slope and the deflection. So slopes are the unknowns, or rotations are the unknowns. That is why the name slope deflection. See, first module, it was three moment equation. That means you used three moments. Your equation consists of three moments for analyzing the problem. Here it is slope deflection method. That means your equation, your slope deflection equation consists of slope and deflection. That is why the name slope deflection method. Okay. So here the important thing is degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So you have already studied what is kinematic indeterminacy and what is statical indeterminacy in your structural analysis 1. Now, based on this kinematic indeterminacy, your number of unknowns in slope deflection method will be equal to the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. And we know this force method is also known as flexibility methods. And in flexibility method, the number of unknowns will be equal to the number of statical indeterminacy. This slope deflection method, therefore the equation of three moments or Clapeyron's theorem, theorem of three moments is a force method. Now, this slope deflection method is displacement method. Displacement methods are also known as stiffness method, which means your number of unknowns will be equal to the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So it depends upon the number of rotations. Okay. So with this knowledge, so what is a slope deflection method? It uses a slope deflection equation. So in this equation we will have slope and deflection. So using this we are going to analyze the continuous beams. So today let us see the procedure for analyzing a continuous beams using slope deflection methods. So what are the steps for analyzing a continuous beam? Using slope deflection method. Okay, now our step 1 is we have to treat each span as fixed beam and calculate the fixed end moments. So step 1, treat each span as fixed beam. Treat each span as fixed beam and calculate the fixed end moments. See, here in this step 1, two things. So first is our assumption. We are assuming every span of our continuous beam as fixed, and we have to calculate the fixed end moments. So there will be many conditions, but the general conditions is, suppose we are having a span. Suppose we have a span like this. This may be a continuous span. So we can take this as A, B, C, D, E. So A, B, we may have a load W. So this may be of span length L, L1, and this will be L1 by 2. That means in the middle. This W is in the middle of AB. So BC will have a load of W acting at a distance A from B. So this distance will be equal to B and BC will be of length L2. And suppose this CD is having an UDL of W per unit length and this is of distance L3. Suppose if this is the case. Okay, so in our first step, we will assume every span as a fixed beam. That means we will consider this AB as a fixed beam. So our AB will be considered as a fixed beam. BC will be considered as a fixed beam. Similarly, CD will be treated as a fixed beam. Now again, so this is an overhang, right? So DE also will be treated as a fixed beam. See here I have given you the general cases. See, these are the common loading conditions which you can expect in your problems. Okay, so first condition you see, it is W, a unit load of W, the span length of AB is L, and this distance is L1 by 2. That means our W, this concentrated load is acting at the mid span. So if this is the case, so our step 1 we have assumed all these span as fixed beam. Now we have to find the fixed end moments. So this fixed end moments can be calculated as, so we have two fixed ends. One is A, another one is B. So we have fixed moments. So we have fixed moments, that is MF of AB, and we have MF of BA. That means fixed moment at A, that is the near end is A and the far end is B. The second one, The fixed moment, the near end is B and the far end is A. See, you have a span AB. Both ends are assumed to be fixed. So, you have fixed moment at A as well as fixed moment at B. Okay. So, now how will you calculate the fixed end moment? So, if the concentrated load is at the center, your fixed moment will be equal to W A by 4. Sorry, this A is equal to L1 by 2. Okay. So, if it is L, if this length is taken as L, if this length is taken as L, it is W L by 4. Sorry, W L by 8. So, A is L by 2, right? So, W A by 4, that is A is L by 2. So, 2 into 4, we get W L by 8. So, we get W L by 8. Here also it is W L by 8. Now, we have to see whether it is positive or negative. Listen, we know for a fixed beam, we know our moments will be negative. That is why we will be putting our moments like this, right? That means if there is another beam here, see this is clockwise. Here it is anti-clockwise. You may have another beam here. So this is clockwise and this is anti-clockwise. Normally this will be the condition. See, that means when you are considering the span AB, this is anti-clockwise, that is negative, and this moment is clockwise, that means positive. That means your M of AB becomes negative and M of BA becomes positive. Okay. So the left end of your span will always be negative and the right end of the span will always be positive. So this is anti-clockwise and this is clockwise. And when you take the section, see, when you take the section anywhere on the span AB, so both side it will be negative. That means in the span AB, due to the support conditions, your moment is negative. When you are taking the section anywhere in the span AB, the moment is negative. And the end moments are anti-clockwise at the left support and clockwise at the right support. So, when your condition, that is when your span has a unit concentrated load at the center of the span, your end moments will be plus or minus WL by 8. WL by 8. Okay, it is WL by 8. So, minus WL by 8. So, here it is minus WL by 8 anti-clockwise and here it is WL by 8 clockwise. Now, the second case you can see BC. BC, the span length is L2. For our understanding, we will take this as L. Okay. So, this is L and there is a concentrated load W acting at A from B. So, our formula will be M F BC will be equal to WAB square by L square negative and MF CB will be equal to plus WA square B by L square. Okay. So here it is anti-clockwise WAB square by L square. And here it is in the right end it is clockwise WA square B by L square. Now for the span CD, It is WO per unit length. It is a UDL of WO per unit length. So our MF CD will be equal to minus WL square by 12 and MF DC will be equal to plus WL square by 12. So at C you will have minus WL square by 12 and at D we will have plus WL square by 12, that is clockwise. Now, so here we don't have any loads, therefore our fixed end moment will be DE is equal to MFED will be equal to 0. So this is our first step. So first step, you have to treat each span as a fixed beam and calculate the fixed end moments, and these three are the general conditions. General conditions you may expect in your beam. Okay. So these are the formulas you should remember. So if see this is same as this. You see MFAB, it is WL by 8. Reason is here it is the same formula as this. See, same formula as this. Same formula as this. You can substitute, see, W minus WA. So, because it is L by 2, L by 2, L by 2, L by 2, D is also equal to A. So, A square divided by L square. So, L is 2A, 2A the whole square. Okay. In other words, okay, we'll try. So, W, this A square gets cancelled. You get A by 4. Now, A is L by 2. So, it is W L by 2 into 4. We get minus W L by 8. This is what you have written here. It is minus W L by 8. So you should remember when it is a UDL, it is plus or minus WL square by 12. When it is a concentrated load, plus or minus WAB square by L square and WA square B by L square. If you remember these two things, you will be able to do the first step, complete the first step. So first step is over. Now the second step. In the second step, you have to write the, so first step, we are assuming all the spans is fixed and find the fixed end moments. Now, second step, we have to write the slope deflection equation in terms of end moments, fixing moments, joint rotation and joint translations for each span. That means we are writing the slope deflection equation for each span. That is our second step. Okay, we will write the second step. So, second step is step 2. Write the slope deflection equation in terms of end moments, fixing moments, joint rotation and joint translation for each span. Okay, so here we have to write the slope deflection equation. So now our slope deflection equation is, see, we will take the same example. We have A, B, C, D, E. So for all the spans, we may have any number of spans. We may have any number of spans A, B, C, D, E. So for every span, we have to write the slope deflection equation. So first of all, we will take the span AB, right? So while you are considering the span AB, we have two ends. One is A and the other one is B. That means our slope deflection equation is moment at A. That is near end is A, far end is B. So moment at A, when the far end is B, will be equal to, this is called end moments, okay? End moments. MAB means end moments. What we have already calculated is fixed end moments. Now MAB is called end moments. MAB is equal to 2EI by L. EI is your flexural rigidity. L is the length of the span. So 2EI by L multiplied by 2 times theta A. See, that means the slope at A. Theta A means your slope at A. Theta B means your slope at B. There will be a deformation, right? There will be a moment. There will be a deformation. So, what is theta A and what is theta B? So, 2 times theta A plus theta B minus 3 times delta by L plus MFAB. Now, this EI is your flexural rigidity, L is the length of the span AB, theta A is the slope at A, theta B is the slope at B, and 3 delta L. Delta means the deformation. Deformation, that is translation, also known as joint translation. Joint rotation is theta A and theta B. Fixing moments is MFAB. End moments is MAB. Okay, so the relationship is between the end moments, the joint rotations, the joint translation, and the fixed moments. So now, see, if your end is fixed, if A is fixed, theta A will be equal to 0. Slope at A will be equal to 0. If end is simply supported, theta A slope will not be equal to 0 because the deflection at this point will be equal to 0 if the end is fixed. If the end is simply supported, there will be some deformation. So, theta A is not equal to 0. Okay, so the things you should remember here is, if it is fixed support, theta A will be equal to 0. If it is a simple support, the slope will be not equal to 0. And now the deformation, see, it is already given as minus. Minus means the settlement is downwards. Settlement is downwards. You consider the span AB, if it is settling down, then it is minus. If the settlement is upwards, then there will be a positive. So this becomes positive if it is upwards. So here already it is minus, that means your settlement is downwards. Okay, this MFAB is fixed end moment at AB, which you have already calculated in your first step. So this is MAB. Now MBA will be equal to 2EI by L multiplied by 2 theta B plus theta A minus 3 delta by L plus MFBA. Okay, so this is called slope deflection equation or slope deformation equation because this equation consists of slope and deformation. So this becomes your equation number 1, this becomes your equation number 2, and it goes on like that for every span. Now you have to consider span BC, next is BC. So for BC you have to find what is MBC and MCB, it goes on. Okay, likewise you have to write the slope deflection equation for every span. This is your second step. And substitute the values. Okay, so theta may be 0 or may not be equal to 0. This deflection may be 0 or may not be equal to 0. And this fixed end moments you have already found in your first step. So complete these two steps. Now, third step is write the equilibrium equation for individual joints. That is your third step. So we will write our third step now. Step 3. So step 3 is write down equilibrium equation for individual joints. See, that means when you have a continuous beam, you have many joints A, B, C, D, E, etc. So at each joint, see, the intermediate supports are the intermediate supports will be simple supports or roller supports. That means the total moment at this points B, C, D will be equal to 0. See, that means, see, if it is simple supports, see, we know we will be writing our moments like this. That is one clockwise and another one anti-clockwise. So together it becomes 0. Again at C you will have a clockwise and an anti-clockwise. So together it becomes 0. So here also one clockwise and another anti-clockwise. So together it becomes 0. And now see, if this is end support, see, F is fixed, the end support F is fixed. So MF is not equal to 0. Since this support at A is simple supports, MAB will be equal to 0. This is MFE. Okay, so these are the conditions you should remember now. See, that means since A is simple support, MAB will be equal to 0. Now B is simple support. There will be some support moments. Okay, so this support moments will be in the span BA, it will be clockwise, and in BC it will be anti-clockwise. So this is negative and this is positive. And when you take a section, everywhere it is negative. When you take section on AB, it is negative. When you take the section on BC, it is negative. But actually at the joint, it is clockwise and anti-clockwise. That means at joint B, your MBA plus MBC will be equal to 0. Similarly, at joint C, MCB plus MCD will be equal to 0. This is called equilibrium, joint equilibrium equations. Joint equilibrium equation. So your third step is to write the joint equilibrium equations. Now the fourth step, substitute the rotations in slope deflection equations and solve for end moments. That is your step 4. Okay. So step 4, substitute the values. Substitute the values and find the unknowns. Find the unknowns. That means solve all the equations. So see, you have slope deflection equations and the joint equilibrium equations. So using these equations, you solve for the unknowns. That will give you the answer. Now, how will you determine the number of unknowns? That will be equal to the number of kinematic indeterminacy. Kinematic indeterminacy you have already studied earlier. So these are the steps which will help for you for for analyzing a continuous beam using slope deflection method. So only 4 steps. First step, write the fixed end moments. Second step, write the slope deflection equations. Third step, write the joint rotation. And the fourth step, you solve all the equations. You will be getting the answer. Now, the last step, fifth step, you can draw the bending moment diagram as usual. Shear force diagram by using the equations of equilibrium, static equilibrium conditions, and the deflection diagram. Now, while drawing the bending moment diagram, see, as usual, first of all, by assuming the span is simply supported, draw the free bending moment diagram and draw the fixed moment diagram. Negative and positive as we have studied in the first module, similar to the first module. We have to draw the simple beam moment diagram, then the fixed beam moment diagram which we have found using the slope deflection equation and the equilibrium and the joint equilibrium equation. So thank you for today. From the next class we will solve problems one by one. Thank you.